Hey, P Psychology, Mr. Gallagher back at you for another mini lesson. We continue in our journey, Unit 3, Sensation to Perception. We're going to touch on 3B, Part 2 of this unit, Perception. Now, in 3A, we talked about sensation, taking in all these different energies through our senses and transforming them, or transference, into new neural messages that our brain can understand. Now, perception, as I mentioned, is how we make sense of these transduced messages in our brain and what they mean to us. So some things, some terms in this Unit 3B, but not a lot. There's a lot of pictures, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on those because you have this information and you can check it out on your own. But selective attention is an aspect that relates to our perception because we can focus awareness on a particular thing. Just as I'm focused on this camera and talking to you right now, there's a lot of stuff going on around me that I'm not aware of, like the clock ticking, the raindrops falling, the custodian in the hallway cleaning. So I could focus on all that, but we have the unique ability of humans to focus on particular stimulus. All right, in this case, my webcam, computer, and information in front of me. Selective attention is also known as the cocktail party effect because you could be at a concert, you could be at a game, you could be in a high level of social interactivity and still focus on one conversation. And this cube is so cool, though. I got to point it out. If you look, it looks like there's a cube here, but there's not. It's nothing. It is your brain filling in the blanks. It actually looks like you see lines, but trust me, there's none there. All right, check out this video. Unintentional blindness, failing to see while our attention is directed elsewhere. It's pretty cool. Check it out if you get a chance. I love it. All right, change blindness, another aspect of perception when you can actually change people, outfits, things, and when we're focused on something, individuals can't tell. Like this dude is not this dude after they switch him. And this poor old guy doesn't even notice. And again, another video on change blindness from Nova. It's also very cool. Check it out. Perceptual illusions. I got a ton of illusions I can show you, but you guys can Google those on your own. Illusions are our perception changes what we actually are interpreting, such as the standard illusion of the AB line being shorter than the BC line when they're exactly the same. We know this, okay? Again, in this room, using angles and different heights to give the illusion that this is a giant person and this is a little person. There we go. Now she's giant, now she's little. Same thing. This is how they do it, how they pull off this illusion. Check it out if you get a chance. All right, visual capture and gestalt. Visual capture is a tendency for vision to dominate our senses. We believe what we see, all right? And there's a reason for it. It's a powerful sense. It is a powerful sense. We believe what we see, and this visual capture can dominate what we smell, taste, feel, hear, so on and so forth. Now, gestalt is an important psychological term on interpreting information. Gestalt is an organized whole. Not the parts, it's the whole. I don't have my stool with me, but I would show you. Anyways, you'll get the drift in this section right here. So our mind loves to complete things. We like solid, whole figures, images, information. So we integrate pieces of information that are missing to complete it. All right, figure and ground perceptual organization of visual field into objects, the figures, that stand out from their surroundings, the ground. And you can see here, these are some guys walking down the steps, right? No, switch it, bam. These are arrows pointing up and pointing down. Depending on the organization of the visual field is what you see. Figure ground. All right, one of my favorite guys, David Blaine. If you check him out, man, you'll love him. Very awesome musician. Illusionist especially, and he blows my mind to this very day. I saw him in Vegas about 15 years ago. Awesome. All right, more Gestalt perceptual organization cues. Grouping. The perceptual tendency to organize stimuli into coherent groups, organizing it into these groups, such as proximity, similarity, continuity, closure, and connectedness. And these are some images that refer to those grouping principles I just mentioned. Closure, another perceptual cue here. Again, same as the cube. You see a triangle here, but there is no triangle. It's an illusion. Our mind closes it so we see a triangle. If you close off these things, it changes your whole perception of everything. All right, depth perception. Another visual cue, how we see depth. We only need one eye to do this, not two. That's monocular versus binocular. And psychologists study depth perception in infants, animals, to see if it was born in us or we learn it. And they use this thing called the visual cliff. All right, this is a visual cliff. It is a device that's used to test depth perception in organisms. And here's a little more on it. Check it out if you get a chance. All right, depth perception is the ability to see objects in 3 dimensions, allows us to judge distance. Like as I'm looking at this screen here, I can see how close this monitor webcam is as compared to the door, the wall, the hallway, so on and so forth. Binocular cues require 2 eyes to see the sensation. Retinal disparity, the finger sausage, images with 2 eyes differ. So the closer the object, the larger the disparity. All right, if you go here and you go here, that finger sausage gets giant. Convergence, neuromuscular clue, 2 eyes move inward for near objects. I don't know if you see my eyes here, but check it out. So I go like this, I look at my finger, and my eyes cross. Ooh. All right, monocular cues only require one eye, including relative size, interposition, relative clarity, and texture gradient. And again, these are all in your notes. Relative size, obviously you're closer, they're much larger. Interposition, you could tell with one eye who's closer, who's farther away. Relative clarity. Relative height, higher objects are seen as more distant. Relative motion, closer objects seem to move faster. Linear perspective, parallel lines converge as they go on. And relative brightness, closer objects appear brighter. All right, relative motion here. Again, these are awesome relative. Oh, this one got pulled. Awesome relative motion videos here. Check them out. Linear perspective. Perceptual constancy. Perceiving objects as unchanging even as illumination and retinal image change. So even though the door and the shape changes and the illumination of it, we can perceive the same object. That's an illusion. That stuff's all laying on the ground, but it doesn't look like it. All right. Perceptual adaptation. The ability to adjust and artificially displace visual field. So basically this. I have these prism glasses up in my box up there in the corner. If you put them on, it alters the visual field 45 degrees. And at first, it's a trip. It's hard to walk, throw a ball. You can't. It's almost impossible. But if you wear them long enough, you adapt. And you can walk down the hallway. All right. Perceptual set, very strong. A mental predisposition to perceive one thing and not another. This is based on experiences, assumptions, expectations that influence how we have our perceptual set. UFOs, Loch Ness Monster. Here's a little comic. Officer holding hair dryer. People freaking out because they think it's a radar gun. All right, human factor psychology, one of those awesome fields of industrial organizational psychology where we explore how machines and people interact. A growing field especially given how we interact with our cars and our houses and everything else today. Extrasensory perception, do we have it? Parapsychology, that is a study of paranormal phenomenon, including extrasensory perception, psychokinesis, moving things with your mind. Our ESP includes telepathy, clairvoyance, precognition. If you ever see the movie Minority Report, it's awesome. It goes into this here. But these are extra fields dealing in parapsychology in perception. And that's the movie I was talking about, Minority Report. It's awesome. So I did it. I think I did it. 10 minutes or less, Unit 3B, sensation, perception, out.